In this video, we will go through the other options that are available under our settings menu. Now, you may want to do this at the very beginning when you set up your site. Now, I've chosen to do this after we've created some content so that you can see the difference, once you have changed some of these settings. And we just start with the general. As you can see, it's your site title. This would have been set up when you install WordPress. And then you can have a tagline. And okay, so if we go back to our main site, you will see that's going to change the information here, which is the name of the site. And you see it says just another WordPress site. Of course, you don't want your site to say that. And so that tagline will change that. For your WordPress address URL, and if you just basically read what it says here, is enter just here if you want your site homepage to be different from the directory you install WordPress. So if you want to go ahead and change, I really don't suggest that you mess about with this unless you know what you're doing. Okay, and just some more options to change, which are your contact email address, membership, anyone can register, it's totally up to you. The time zone, and this will of course affect your posts. Whenever you make posts, then there's usually a timestamp as to when the posts have been created, and also when there are comments made on your site, and just other general information that may be affected by time. You can just customize this, enter your time zone, the date format, time, and the day that the week starts on. Okay, and remember to save changes. And just remember, not all of these settings you'll be able to see the immediate effect of. If we go back to our home page and we refresh, you will see that now it says WP Video Sidekick, how to become a WP Pro. And just keep in mind that if you use something like a header or a logo, then in some themes that information may be removed, or you may have the option to keep the text as an overlay on your logo or header. So the setting here is writing, and most of these are self-explanatory. So we just go through formatting, convert emoticons to graphics. So if you use your colons, if you want to create smiley faces, instead of them showing like this, they will show like real graphical smiley faces. And I'm just going to quickly go through these. Default post category. So if you wanted to change the default category so that, say for example, if most of my posts are going to be about football, and I could change this, so instead of having to change it each time I create a post, then that will be the case. And the same goes for the post format. If you're a video blogger, for example, and most of your posts are going to be video, you could set the standard post format to video. Alright, and there's an option here called press this, and basically it just allows you to grab text, images, etc. from surfing the web to help you if you wanted to publish as posts on your sites. And then there is the post via email. If you wanted to create those posts via email, then you'd have to set up an account, and the instructions are there, you can follow it. Update services. When you publish a new post, WordPress automatically notifies the following site update services. Now, for exposure, this is great. Basically, your posts, etc., will go through Ping-O-Matic, rpc.ping-o-matic, and this just notifies other sites, search engines, that you have new content, and it helps to get your posts and pages indexed in search engines and builds exposure for your site. Okay, and okay, I'm going to stop here and pick up in another video. Okay, the next set of settings. Okay, we already looked at the reading settings, so we can go ahead and take a look at the discussion settings, because we looked at the reading settings when we were looking at configuring our blog as a static site or a blog. Okay, so for default article settings on the discussion, this controls basically comments and trackbacks and spam on your site. So you should pay attention to this if you're going to allow comments on your site. Attempt to notify any blogs linked from the article, and basically if you link to a site, another site, when you make posts or pages, then WordPress will basically notify these sites. It's basically self-explanatory. You want to allow link notifications from other blogs, it's pingbacks and trackbacks. And basically what will happen is if other websites link to your site, then you would receive a notification similar to when a comment is left, and if you accept the pingbacks or trackbacks, then this will be displayed on the particular post or page that has been linked to say that another site has linked to it. And basically you can, this next option, allow people to post comments on new articles. If you untick this box, then basically you are disallowing comments on your website. And it does say that these settings may be overridden for individual articles. So you could set it generally here, but for specific articles you could change this. And basically you can just go through these. Comment author must fill out name and email, which you want to do. Users must be registered and logged into comment. Automatically close comments on articles after 14 days. You can change the amount of time for this. Enable threaded nested comments, and this will basically affect whether your comments on your site, if you have a lot of comments, will for example, if persons respond to other comments, just how many levels they can go. Break comments into pages. So if you have a lot of comments, if you can set an amount that will be displayed on each page, so that your comments will go on into infinity on one page. They will be broken up into separate pages, and then you can display the order for comments, whether older comments or newer comments are shown first, and you can opt to receive a notification whenever anyone posts a comment. And if you get a lot of comments on your site, I will warn you, you will get a lot of notifications. But if you want to control spam, then it's something you will have to look into. And the next option is to comment. Email me whenever a comment is held for moderation, and before a comment appears, comment must be manually approved. Comment author must have a previous approved comment. Now you really have the option to just customize these, allow, disallow. Hold a comment in the queue if it contains 2 or more links. So generally a lot of persons will place comments on your site to get backlinks to their site. And now usually they have an option to place a website when they enter their name and email, and that will create a link. But additionally they may put links into their comments, and personally I put this to 0, so any links at all. I just don't want people to be linking to anywhere from my site. It can be bad for SEO, and you leave yourself open to a lot of spam. And the comment blacklist, if you find that you have a particular set of emails, IPs, URLs usernames that are spamming your site, you can just put a list there, and WordPress will automatically block those. And for avatars, you can set the settings whether you want to show avatars, and the rating for avatars, and the default icon if the person does not have an avatar. And just remember to save the changes if you make any. And we've already covered media permalinks, so media is the next one that we would look at. And basically you can, the WordPress thumbnail size, I mentioned earlier that when you upload images, especially larger images, WordPress will create multiple sizes, and these are the default sizes. And you can change this, but I mean really, unless you have specific reasons to do this and you know what you're doing, then you probably don't want to change this. So that's it for the settings. Like I said, you can do this at the very beginning before you start to build content on your site, but I purposely built the site first so that whatever changes were made, you'll be able to see them once you made adjustments to your settings. So that's it for the settings. In the last video we looked at adding plugins to our site from the WordPress repository, and another way that we can add plugins is from a zip file. So if you have a premium plugin, or if you downloaded a plugin from anywhere other than the repository and you have it in a zip file, then you would just go plugins, add new, and go to upload. Choose file, and then you would just locate it wherever it is on your PC or your Mac. And I have this plugin on my desktop, WP Optins, and I will just install. And then again, like I said, whenever the plugin is installed, you will have the option to activate, and then from there you can configure the additional settings if there are any. Right, so once that is done, the uploading of the plugin, you can just activate your plugin, and this particular plugin actually asks for a license key. But you get the gist of how it is to add a plugin. I'm not going to add my license key in this video, of course. And so, like I said, this would fall under the additional configuration or settings once you've activated the plugin. But that's just how simple it is. If you have a plugin from a zip folder, and based on the plugin, you'd know what to do next. So that's how you get it into your site. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a custom page with a fairly involved layout. And I'm actually at the Site Origin homepage, and this is, of course, the company that builds the Page Builder plugin. And basically what we're going to do is create a design that you see in a lot of business sites. So basically you have a slider which you click forward and backwards, and you have something of like a little announcement here which clicks onto their theme portfolio, and then you have 3 columns with just basically showcases what they do. They offer free WordPress themes, powerful plugins, help and support, and they do have some nice plugins, so you can go and check it out. But like I said, what we're trying to do is to replicate this layout, not to build it exactly like this, but to replicate the layout. So we go to a dashboard and we just add a new page. and I'm just going to name this page home because I want to use it as a home page, as a landing page. So this is what I want customers to see the first time they visit my site. Go over to the Page Builder tab, and this first column here, we are going to, this first row, pardon me, we're going to just add a widget, and we're going to add the slider. Now, in the interest of time, I went ahead and added the slides and created a slider. Because what this widget does is basically when you go to the meta slider options, which is on the left hand side there, you create the slide, you name the slide, and when you come to this widget you just select it by name. So my slider is called new slider, so I'll just drop that there, and what I need is another row. I just want it to be one column, and this would be for basically our announcement. I'm going to add a widget, and I'm going to use the visual editor because I want to add text, and this is where we just put the bit that says we build free themes. So I'll just go on ahead and prepare the text, just to save time. So I'm just going to center that, and I'm going to make this, use a heading tag, heading 2, just to make it stand out. And actually I want this one to be a little smaller, so I'm going to use heading 3 and add a link, of course, to our portfolio page. Wherever, let's open it in a new window. So whatever you want to link to, it's just simple adding a link. So we're done there. And as you can see, I actually put it in the wrong row, this widget, but it's easy to move. You just click and drag. So now it's where I want it to be. I want it to be separate from the slider. And just one more row. I need a row. And then this is where I'm going to put my 3 columns. I'll add it there. And just to ensure that you add the widget to the right row, you need to put your cursor over the area, and when it turns blue or light blue like this, then you know you're in the right area. And then we're going to add the widget, and again I need the visual editor, and let me just go back to my text, and I'm just going to say check out all our products. But above that, I want to put a little icon like you saw on the page. So it's just as simple as adding media. And I've already added the images. So for that first one that says check out all products, then I'll use this as a gear icon. So I'll insert that into the page. And I want this to be at the very top. Just going to center it, and then I'll put back my text, and then I'm done. And the wonderful thing that you can do, so instead of doing this 3 times for each of the columns, I can just duplicate this, and I can just drag it over, And again, I can duplicate, drag it over. So instead of having to select the widget again, and then all I have to do is go in, and then I am going to change the icon to the about icon. Done it again. Just cut. And then for the text, just a little bit about the business. Then I'm done. And then I'll just edit the last one. And let's see if I can do this another way. So the image source. Okay, never mind. So do is highlight it, and then I want this to be for my mailing. And then I will center, get the text, and I just want it to say sign up below. And then I'm done. And just one more thing I want to do is to okay, so as I actually just accidentally deleted that widget. If we go to the very top here, we can just undo. What I wanted to do was just highlight the box because I want to add a button. So we just add a simple button, and then this window just open asking for the text to put on the button. So that very first area had a link to all products, so I'll just put download now, put a destination for the button. Select whether I wanted to open a new window, then I can justify, center, align, choose the color of the button, and I want to use an orange button to grab attention. And again, instead of doing this 3 times, I can just duplicate, and then I can drag it over, and then I just need to change the text for this button, because this is for our About Us page, so I'll just put learn more. Done. Edit the other one, which is to go to our sign up page. I just want this to say sign me up. Done. And publish. And if we just give it a second to update, and if we go ahead and view this page, okay, so one thing I forgot to do was I wanted this to be a full width page. I'm just going to go back and go back to our editor, change the default template to a full page, and to remove comments, trackbox, update, and then view page. Refresh, and there you go. We have our landing page with our slider, basically our announcement about what the site is about, a link to our portfolio, products page, about page, assignment page, and you can do minor tweaks to this just to get the buttons to line up, but this is pretty nice if you ask me. And if you wanted to just get rid of this title, of course WordPress adds the name of the page to the top. Then there is a plugin called Hide Title, which is free. It's in the WordPress repository, and it just adds this tab here where you can select hide title, and if we update that, and the last thing I want to do is to go and customize, pardon me, and I want to make this page our new home page. So if we now go back and click home, there you go. The title at the top of the page is gone. We have a slider, we have our columns, and this is just a beautiful layout that we were able to build with the Page Builder plugin.